Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com. As the 4th of July draws near, local law enforcement is sharing tips on how to be safe during celebrations. And a major spending bill advances in the House after holdouts overnight. We'll share what we know so far. Plus, after days of deliberation, the jury in the trial of Sean Combs releases their verdict.
On the outside sun coming up on the Crossroads this morning. The rain showers currently in the area, partly cloudy, mostly cloudy skies you see there. Rain chances today and hot temperatures. That's going to be the case today and tomorrow. What about your weekend? We'll take a look coming up.
And a new dance group sporting the Victoria Generals makes waves here in Victoria. Find out more about this group later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your 4th of July Eve. And we were just talking about fireworks.
Very much so, yes.
Yes, you got to stay safe with the fireworks. And
please do have some water handy, of course.
yes, keep those memories positive. I remember visiting family in Mexico, and the houses there are made out of cement walls, so you could strike a match on the wall, literally.
There you go.
And you could get a lot of really fun fireworks for those American dollars.
That's true there, but a lot of houses here are made out of wood, so
don't do that.
Don't do that at all. Be careful, please. Be safe. We want you to be safe because we care about you here on Sunrise. All right, speaking of sunrise, it's happening now. I'll let you see the light in the sky. And sunny, partly cloudy skies, mostly cloudy skies continue throughout the day. It's currently 79 degrees, and the dew point's in the upper 70s, just about as saturated as it can get. Matter of fact, our humidity level here, 94%, and visibility not too bad at all. With a little bit less in the way of that Saharan dust that's kind of moved further to the east overall with the plume in the Gulf. And a few rain showers this morning, kind of hit and miss. Nothing too widespread or too heavy out there. Light rain for the most part. It's sitting out in the Gulf, San Antonio Bay, Matagorda Bay, and up there near northern part of Victoria County toward Cuero as well, and the western parts of the area. That'll be the case throughout the day today, winding down a little bit as we head toward the latter half of the day. That's agreeing with the weather model here. Keep the rain chances in today. It can hit and miss and winding down toward the late afternoon. Will it be back tomorrow? We'll take a look at that in the full forecast to come. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. And as you gear up for 4th of July celebrations, here's a quick reminder to stay safe and follow local laws. Fireworks are not allowed within city limits, and setting them off could land you a fine or worse. And if you're lighting fireworks legally outside city limits, like in the county, for example, keep a hose or a bucket of water nearby and always keep a close eye on children. And for those big booming displays, leave it to the pros. Let's celebrate safely and keep the night memorable for the right reasons.
If you are going to be popping out in the county, make sure you have an adult present with you, handling the fireworks at all times.
Officer Balsaldua urges children and people to not point the fireworks in other people's direction and encourages people to stay safe. And here are some of the headlines in the Cuero Record. Concerns about the subdividing of lots goes before commissioners, plus the Cuero Volunteer Fire Department is firing up the barbecue pits. To read more, visit DeWittCountyToday.com. With days left before a major trade deadline, the president says the U.S. reached a deal with Vietnam. The U.S. will impose a 20% tariff on Vietnamese exports and a 40% tariff on goods transshipped through other countries. In return, Vietnam will get full market access to American goods. It's unclear if Vietnam has agreed or if the deal is finalized. Last year, Vietnam was the 6th largest U.S. import source, totaling $137 billion. Now to the emotional roller coaster end of the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Hours after being convicted on 2 counts and acquitted of the most serious charges against him, Combs was told he'd be waiting for sentencing in jail. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert with the details.
This morning, Sean Diddy Combs is behind bars awaiting sentencing after a judge refused to release him on bail. Combs was convicted on 2 of the 5 charges he faced.
Today's a great victory.
His lawyers declaring victory because the jury found him not guilty of the most serious charges, racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking, which could have landed him in prison for life. Instead, the music mogul was convicted of the lesser charges of transportation to engage in prostitution.
It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. they listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough.
The lesser charges carry a maximum of 10 years in prison each, but prosecutors acknowledge guidelines in this case will likely mean Combs faces a maximum of 5 years total. The defense is requesting only a 2-year sentence, given that he has no prior criminal record. Combs was emotional after the verdicts were read, falling to his knees and mouthing "thank you" to the jury. His family celebrating on the street.
We love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home.
But Combs not going home just yet, the judge refusing to release him on bail, citing this hotel surveillance video from 2016 showing Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, the judge saying it shows Combs' propensity for violence.
His attorney sure did plead with the judge to release Combs on bail, and Combs looked pretty frustrated when the judge refused. At one point, he raised his hand as if he wanted to argue himself.
The judge noting Combs' own lawyers told the jury he was violent, saying you full-throatedly in your closing argument told the jury that there was violence here and domestic violence is violence. Despite Combs being found not guilty of the more serious charge of sex trafficking, Cassie Ventura, the star witness in the case, is at peace with the outcome, according to her attorney.
Obviously, she would be a lot happier if the jury had convicted on that, but she's at peace with the verdict.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Unmarked vehicles arrived at Alligator Alcatraz Wednesday, just hours after Florida's Attorney General said hundreds of detainees would be moved in. Several unmarked cars, including vans and trucks with heavily tinted windows, pulled into the detention facility. President Trump joined Homeland Security Secretary and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to tour the nation's newest and largest immigration detention facility on Tuesday. Governor DeSantis says the facility will have a capacity of about 3,000 detainees when fully operational. Lawyers for Kilmer Abrego Garcia are fighting to keep their civil case against the Trump administration alive. They've asked to amend the lawsuit to include details about the El Salvador mega prison where he was wrongfully deported earlier this year. In court documents, his legal team states Abrego Garcia endured torture and mistreatment during confinement, including beatings, poor nutrition, and sleep deprivation. The Justice Department claims the case is moot since Abrego Garcia is back in the U.S. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It is 6:37 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A mysterious interstellar visitor is on its way, currently hundreds of millions of miles from Earth.
President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill moves one step closer to passage. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details on the closed-door negotiations happening overnight.
Very warm, very humid with a few rain showers this morning around the region. Some of this not reaching the ground, but some of it is. If it is, it's causing the streets and the windshields to get wet. More rain chances today. We'll find out in your forecast. Good morning, happy Thursday. Let's take a wide view of the Saharan dust. Still out there, a big plume coming off the African coast. You see right here into the Atlantic Ocean between the African coast and the Caribbean Sea, and pretty much has faded away some in the Caribbean Sea and in the Gulf of Mexico here off the Texas coast. See, the main push of the Saharan dust is now toward the east, well east of Victoria, toward Houston and Beaumont area, Louisiana, Lake Charles, Lafayette, New Orleans, Mississippi. So the real concentration is there, a little bit less in our atmosphere here, so not seeing that much of a milky appearance to the sky, but definitely have the moisture in place and giving us some rain chances around here. High temperatures, I showed this earlier, and it gives you a good indication how hot it's going to be over time. We're starting off with high temperatures in the 9-degree range and rising up pretty rapidly through the rest of the week into the weekend. 95, 96, 97 coming up by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So definitely much hotter temperatures to come. This is the air temperature. That's what the thermometer reads. When you add that humidity factor in, it's definitely going to be 105 or higher heat index value, especially Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week. So getting into the dangerous category. So be prepared and stay cool best you can. Drink plenty of water, find some shade, and take frequent breaks. Rain chance to continue next week. Could be the case again, even though we'll have hot temperatures. We'll take a look at that coming up in the full forecast.
Happy Thursday morning here, Crossroads. And about 1 month ago, the Victoria General's and on-field announcer Robin Hicks, they started a new dance group called the 4 Stars Dance Crew. And this dance crew started about, again, they had to get all different types of dancers that attended all different types of areas there, from college, from everywhere they go. And guess what? They attend all the General's home games this season. And again, they also yesterday hosted their first ever mini dance camp where they had it at the South Texas Strutters practice facility and had a great time hosting that as well. And also that's where they practice too for the 4 Stars team. So before all the home games and everything else and throughout the season. So 2 of the dancers, and Joel Valdez and Kiki Franco, talk about how this group started and how it feels being a part of this team.
To do this group for a while. We've been in contact with Robin, and so once she gave us the go-ahead, it was kind of quick. We had just a couple weeks to get it together, so we reached out to current Strutters, former dancers from other studios, and we kind of just gathered people we know to start it off.
We were all former dancers, so the second I was reached out to, or I reached out to anyone, we were all for it. We love dancing, that's what we love to do, and we always wanted to get back into it.
Now both of these dancers, they helped out the little ones there for last night's game. And guess what? That helped out the Generals get the win over the Seguin River Monsters. They won there 11-2. They got big production there from Travis Bragg and Dante Trugan, who had 2 RBIs apiece to help the Generals get the win there last night. Now they're going to be on the road here starting later on tonight versus the Baton Rouge Rougarou. That first pitch will be at 7:05 p.m. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search for Crossroads Today Plus. This morning, lawmakers on Capitol Hill continue to debate the president's so-called Big Beautiful Bill, moving one step closer to passage. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with details.
This morning, President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill slowly making its way through the House as President Trump and House Speaker Mike Johnson try to get Republican holdouts on board. The House has to approve the Senate's changes to the bill, and with Democrats lined up against the measure, Speaker Johnson can only afford to lose 3 votes for the bill to pass. The House Speaker holding closed-door negotiations with holdouts overnight.
We can't make everyone 100% happy. It's impossible.
The president's bill includes nearly $4 trillion in tax cuts, along with new funding for immigration enforcement and defense. It would also eliminate taxes on tips and overtime, and it imposes work requirements on Medicaid. However, critics are angry that the bill could add $3.4 trillion to the debt over the next decade, and they worry cuts to Medicaid could force nearly 12 million people to lose their insurance.
What is your message to those holdouts?
It's a great bill. There is something for everyone. And I think it's going to go very nicely in the House. Actually, I think it will be easier in the House than it was in the Senate.
Some Republicans were even summoned to the White House for a full court press directly from the president.
Did the president move your vote?
The president was very kind and gifted in his talk.
President Trump not letting up, posting on social media, what are Republicans waiting for? And adding, this should be an easy yes vote. Ridiculous. Now, we may still have hours of activity and debate ahead before the mega bill passes a final vote in the House. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
A newly discovered interstellar comet is now about 420 million miles from Earth. The Comet 31 Atlas was discovered July 1st by a NASA-funded telescope in Chile. Scientists say the closest it will get to Earth will be about 150 million miles. They also say it poses no threat to Earth. Astronomers around the world are now studying its makeup and behavior. The comet is expected to reappear in December. And here are some of the headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. Commissioners hear a complaint about EMS and an update on a general land office grant. Plus, Point Comfort welcomes the 4th of July early with a community event. Go to portlavacawave.com. And it is just about 6:46 on our Thursday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, educators and school leaders are speaking out after a sudden freeze on billions in education funding. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Stella Rose. Happy 4th birthday, Stella. Enjoy your beautiful day. We love you from all your family.
Happy birthday to Jazzy. Happy birthday, Jazzy. Hope you enjoy your day.
And happy birthday to Tom Cruise. From dazzling us with his thrilling stunts in Mission Impossible to soaring as a fighter pilot in Top Gun, Tom has truly defined action and charisma on the big screen. He turned 63 today. To see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crosswordstoday.com. Go to the drop-down menu and then click the Home tab and you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo. The time now, let's get a look. It is just about 6:47 on our Thursday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
We'll be right back. Good morning. Trey Mining here. Temperatures will be the big weather story today. Starting off in the 70s, of course, like we normally do, and then rising throughout the rest of the day today in the 80s by late morning and early afternoon, topping 90 by about 3 o'clock or so, with a risk of some rain showers here and there. I currently have some in the area. Feel like temperature is definitely going to be on the hot side, of course. Looking like triple digits will be happening by about 2 o'clock or so. 102 to 105 to 106 heat index value around the region, even from the inland areas down to the immediate coast. Port O'Connor, you're 102 by 2 o'clock this afternoon, and dodging a few rain showers here and there this morning. That'll be the case throughout the rest of the day today. So kind of hit and miss. Nothing's too heavy, nothing widespread, or nothing too substantial in amounts expected. But there'll be a few around today, so carry that umbrella just in case, and be careful out there. Victoria, plan your day for today. Cloudy skies, a few rain showers this morning. The case through the afternoon time. Highs near 90 degrees, southerly winds with reducing temperatures after sunset hour, of course. And then for your extended forecast, Thursday, which is today, of course, 20% chance of rain. For your day tomorrow, Independence Day, 20% chance of rain again, like we had today. So if you're having plans outdoors, keep that in mind as a consideration you need to take heed of. Better rain chances again, perhaps coming back by next week. Hot temperatures in the upper 90s by Wednesday.
We turn now to the Trump administration's decision to freeze billions of dollars in education grants. Some schools say it could unleash a domino effect of problems long before the back-to-school season. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack with the latest.
Teachers and school officials expressing outrage as the Trump administration freezes more than $6 billion in education grants.
That money is the essence of my classroom.
Administration officials say they're now reviewing how those grants are being used, claiming some of the money was being directed toward a, quote, radical left-wing agenda, including programs to help undocumented immigrants and one that raised awareness about queer resistance in the arts. But school advocates say a long list of more widespread programs are affected.
Summer and after-school programs, music, foreign language, arts programs. It's used to hire counselors and psychologists.
A lot of my students end up in these summer school programs because that's the place where they receive a summer meal. So losing those funds is a really huge impact on disadvantaged families.
The grants, which were already approved by Congress, were supposed to go out on July 1st. Now, with only weeks before students go back to school in parts of the country, educators are asking when or if they'll see that money.
We don't know what to do, and we don't know if those funds are going to be released or if they're just going to be held in perpetuity.
Imagine if your employer told you that you were going to be paid on a Friday and you went to the bank and they wouldn't give you the money. That's exactly the position that schools are in right now.
Even if the funds eventually come through, advocates warn it may be too late to hire staff before school begins in mid-August. And that could disrupt after-school programs, forcing working parents to find different childcare options. Democrats claim the decision to freeze the funding is illegal. A court challenge is likely. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you support the Trump administration's decision to freeze education grants? Okay, this has changed somewhat dramatically in the last half hour. Now 60% of you say you strongly oppose this decision, and 37% of you say you strongly support it. So 37% say you strongly support it and 60% say you strongly oppose it. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A major development in a chilling 2022 case out of Idaho. The suspect in the murder of university students has unexpectedly changed his plea. The suspect in the 2022 murder of 4 University of Idaho students is now pleading guilty. Brian Kohberger changed his plea in a hearing Wednesday, admitting to the first-degree murders of Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, as well as a felony burglary charge. With the guilty plea, the 30-year-old will avoid the death penalty in exchange for a life sentence and waiving his right to appeal. 7 people are unaccounted for after multiple explosions obliterated a fireworks facility Tuesday in California. The flames forced the fireworks to ignite, leading to several explosions, engulfing at least 2 homes and several vehicles on the property. CAL FIRE says 7 people remain unaccounted for and that first responders are working with the property owner to help them find the cause. And the cause of the fire remains unknown. The David Hurd Memorial Hardhead Derby is set for August 2nd at Bayfront Peninsula Park in Port Lavaca. It's in its 23rd year. The event combines fishing and community outreach by collecting school supplies for local students. Organizers plan to fill about 300 backpacks with donated items for children in need. Supplies can be dropped off at the Port Lavaca Wave at East Main or at Calhoun County Community Ministries on Alcoa Drive. It's a free event and children ages 3 to 16 are invited. It includes fishing, crabbing, food, and more. As federal pandemic aid ends and sales tax revenues cool, analysts say it could constrain the Texas legislature in coming years, but they don't see an immediate budget crisis on the horizon. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience your new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And pretty soon, my dog's going to be searching for a place to hide from all these fireworks. It all starts tomorrow, so take care of your fur baby.
Exactly, they're very sensitive to that, so they get scared easily. So
yes,
show them a lot of love. A few rain showers currently this region, nothing too heavy out there or too widespread. The main thing is the forecast. What we're looking like, high staying near 90 degrees, 100% chance of rain today and tomorrow. Kind of a repeat of tomorrow will be the same of today. You know, so kind of keep that in mind as you keep your plans going. And dry over the weekend, hot temperatures next week. Look at that, we'll be in the upper 90s coming up by Wednesday next week. Running the air conditioners for sure.
For sure. And don't forget about our generator giveaway. You can learn more about that on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to thank you for being with us this morning. Join Shauna Dawn, Matt Clovio, and Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great Thursday.